Good morning. Good morning. I hope this finds you safe and well. It's a bit dark outside because I am early with the video today, but better that than being late, I think. Right. What have we got for you today? Well, the first thing is the Environmental Improvement Plan from DEFRA, which was published earlier on this month. It does have deadlines in that were missed by the time they'd been published, but it's still a very interesting document. And you might think, well, what on earth has that got to do with chemicals? And the answer is, and I'm just popping the link to download it there. The answer is within this 124-page document, sorry, wrong glasses, there's actually a bit called, no, they're not, it's called Commitment 40. And that's talking about reforming REACH, UK REACH, to enable protections that address chemical pollution to be applied more quickly, efficiently, and in a way that is more aligned with our closest trading partners, especially the EU, by December 2028. Wow! Is this going to be a Swiss-style arrangement that some of us actually fed back as part of the Brexit pre-negotiations discussions, because that was the obvious thing to do? Well, there's a couple of actions below Commitment 40 as well, and you can find it in the document by just searching on Commitment 40 and it should pull up. They're also talking about taking regulatory decisions made by other trusted jurisdictions as a starting point, which again we're already doing for certain things like harmonized / mandatory classifications, but that does sort of back up the commitment to work closely with the EU. But also for those of us who have been waiting not very patiently for the UK REACH deadline information, it says extend industry deadlines for submitting transitional registration data under UK REACH through legislation to be made by October 2026. So those of us who have been waiting, again, patiently for this information, there's no sign of exactly how the deadlines are going to be extended, which option that DEFRA are going for. But at least we know it's in the pipeline now. So unexpected, interesting news on UK REACH in something that looks like it's just for environment, as it were. Right, so that's the UK thing. What have we got for you for the EU? Oh, now then. An interesting point from Jill Pagliuca at Ricardo, which is that component substances in mixtures are not necessarily being registered for EU REACH. Now, it doesn't mean to say that everything that is exported from GB should be registered for EU REACH, anything less than 1 tonne per annum, for example, or 1 tonne per annum per individual importer in the EU, because of the duty. The duty is on the importer to ensure that registration is there. But Jill has got a link to an ECHA podcast, and the inspection program that was on earlier in the year, they reckon they had a third of the mixtures they tested, a third of the components were liable for EU REACH registration and had not been registered. Now, clearly it is difficult for mixtures because you can't register a mixture for REACH, and you can only appoint an OR in theory if you are the manufacturer by reaction of that substance. So if you make a mixture in GB, for example, you might need to go back to the people making the substances and get them to set up an OR. It's all very, very complicated. But the duty is on the importer ultimately. So it's a very interesting position that REACH has got us into almost without thinking about it. And of course, the same thing applies on mixtures we import into GB in parallel under UK REACH. Very much food for thought there, and thanks very much to Jill for sharing that with us. Right, so you'll be thinking, never mind that woman, get on with the funny video. Well, it's interesting. I've been doing Mitchell and Webb November and December, and I'm finding their modern stuff just isn't as funny as it used to be. So I've gone with a throwback, which is Brain Surgeon, which is just absolutely, I was going to say hysterical, wrong word, hilarious. So I'm just popping that link below the video now as well for you. Right, so that's it from me for today. I hope you are having a good day. Thank you very much for watching live or on catch up. Really appreciate it. As usual, if you have any comments for the big newsletter, if you're a big newsletter reader, or even if you just watch these videos or news, we are always delighted to receive them. We've got a lot of feedback from our lovely readers in this week's edition. And if you're not signed up, then you can do so from the newsletter website, which is at chemicalscoffeetown.co.uk. Just putting the link in there. Yeah, it's a particularly good recipe this week. There's a new recipe for a rather posh pastry for mince pies, and I've also put in our quick mincemeat recipe as well. So no excuses. There is still time to make your own mince pies from scratch. So that's it from me for today. Have a lovely weekend. I hope you have a good day at work, and I hope to chat to you again next week if we're spared. Take care of yourselves. Bye.